let's see what he had to say about U.S. sanctions.
The largest number of sanctions in the world which are applied against Russia. And we have become Europe's first economy during this time. The tools that U.S. uses don't work. Well, one has to think about what to do. If this realization comes to the ruling elites, then yes, then the first person of the state will act in anticipation of what the voters and the people who make decisions at various levels expect from this person. Then maybe something will change.
What they never talk about in Western corporate media is how much this proxy war against Ukraine is failing. They are not talking about how the sanction regime is failing. In fact, once again, trust me, fam, I have seen countless amount of these segments. To this day, Morning Joe, Anderson Cooper, CNN, and MSNBC are pretending that Russia's economy has suffered because of this war. This is a narrative that is still repeated in the New York Times, Washington Post, and many other media outlets. This is the reality. In fact, Russia is shocked themselves at how well they are able to withstand the U.S. sanctions regime. They've been preparing, but they have even exceeded their own expectations. This is stuff that I hear Sergei Lavrov say. Russia's GDP growth was higher last year than in all the G7 countries. And the IMF forecast that it will happen again this year. So as Europe began their ass kicked in energy costs, as the German and UK economy is in shambles, Russia is killing the goddamn game. And the Russian people know that's why Putin has an 80% approval rating. This is why every single NATO leader, all these leaders who promote this war, they lost. Santa Marin or whatever. I think she was a Finland prime minister. She lost. Emmanuel Macron lost his majority. We had how many UK prime ministers since this has started? We have Joe Biden numbers in the tank. At the very beginning of this war, you have all these Western elites that was like, oh my God, this invasion will be the end of Putin. This will be the end of Putin. Ever since this conflict, Putin and Russia has gotten stronger as the West has got destroyed. I see the Zelensky course. I need to find an image. Zombie in the air know what I'm talking about. The Zelensky curse. All these hardcore NATO left or NATO politicians have got destroyed in elections. So let's go back to the clips. I actually really do need to get wrapped up at 10. So let's watch maybe two more clips. Putin on de-dollarization. So we definitely watched that one. Putin on international law. We watched that one. And the Minsk Accord. Then we've seen that one. And I think this is I didn't see this actually. This is like, I guess, a wrap-up video from Tucker here. Oh shit, let's go back. Here we go. So I think we got two more clips I see that I actually want to show. Oh shit, this is another banger I released today. They finally posted. I need to retweet this. Shit, I need to retweet this video. This is my hotspot video I came out with today, talking about the Nord Stream pipeline. So this is a banger that I'm gonna show you guys here very soon. Once again, big shout out to Hotspot. You guys see what Hotspot helped me out with these banger videos. Killing the damn game. So we watch the de-dollarization on international law. We wrap up on those two clips. Now I get to super chats.
Is one of the biggest. To use the dollar as a tool of foreign policy struggle is one of the biggest strategic mistakes made by the U.S. political leadership. The dollar is the cornerstone of the United States power. I think everyone understands very well that no matter how many dollars are printed, they are quickly dispersed all over the world. Inflation in the United States is minimal. It's about 3 or 3.4%, which is, I think, totally acceptable for the US. But they won't stop printing. What does the debt of $33 trillion tell us about? It is about the emission.
Как только политическое руководство приняло решение использовать доллар в качестве инструмента политической борьбы,
Nevertheless, it is the main weapon used by the United States to preserve its power across the world. As soon as the political leadership decided to use the US dollar as a tool of political struggle, a blow was dealt to this American power. I would not like to use any strong language, but it is a stupid thing to do and a grave mistake.
сокращают запасы доллара. Все смотрят на то, что происходит, да, и начинают искать возможности.
Look at what is going on in the world. Even the United States allies are now downsizing their dollar reserves. Seeing this, everyone starts looking for ways to protect themselves. But the fact that the United States applies restrictive measures to certain countries, such as placing restrictions on transactions, freezing assets, etc., causes grave concern and sends a signal to the whole world. What did we have here? Until 2022, about 80% of Russian foreign trade transactions were made in US dollars and euros. US dollars accounted for approximately 50% of our transactions with third countries, while currently it is down to 13%. It wasn't us who banned the use of the US dollar.
США приняли решение ограничить наши расчеты в долларе.
We had no such intention. It was decision of the United States to restrict our transactions in US dollars. I think it is complete foolishness from the point of view of the interests of the United States itself and its taxpayers, as it damages the US economy, undermines the power of the United States across the world. By the way, our transactions in yuan accounted for about 3%.
Сейчас 34%.
Today, 34% of our transactions are made in rubles and about as much, a little over 34% in yuan.
Зачем Соединенные Штаты?
Why did the United States do this? My only guess is self-conceit. They probably thought it would lead to full collapse, but nothing collapsed. Moreover, other countries, including oil producers, are thinking of and already accepting payments for oil in yuan. Do you even realize what is going on or not?
Вы понимаете, что такое?
Does anyone in the United States realize this?
Тех же Соединенных
Dude,
Штатов.
you
What
gotta
are
know
you
the
doing?
people in Putin in Russia is laughing at these morons in the Biden administration, the Pentagon. Like he used to go up against competent neocons. You know what I mean? The Henry Kissingers, the Dick Cheneys, the truly evil motherfuckers who know what they're doing. Putin see this new era of U.S. warmongers, and he's like, these motherfuckers have no idea what they're doing. They just fucking destroyed the European economy. They made long-term mistakes in terms of weaponizing the U.S. dollar, which of course will have long-term ramifications, like we were seeing the rise of BRICS. And Lula talking about having a South American currency. You have African leaders talking about having an African currency. That's why they killed Gaddafi, because he was one of the first that tried to organize that. But I'll let this finish. We have one more clip. I'm going to show you guys my hotspot video, and then we wrap up after that, after we play
Did
with the
states
last.
realize this?
Понимаете, тех же Соединенных Штатов.
What are you doing? You are cutting yourself off. All experts say this.
То, что всегда-
Ask any intelligent and thinking person in the United States what the dollar means for the US.
Что такое доллар?
You're killing it with your own hands.
You're killing it with your own hands.
Remember the developments in Yugoslavia before the Yeltsin was lavished with praise? As soon as the developments in Yugoslavia started, he raised his voice in support of Serbs, and we couldn't but raise our voices for Serbs in their defense. I understand that there were complex processes underway there, I do, but Russia could not help raising its voice in support of Serbs, because Serbs are also a special and close to us nation, with Orthodox culture and so on. It's a nation that has suffered so much for generations. Well, regardless, what is important is that Yeltsin expressed his support. What did the United States do? In violation of international law and the UN Charter, it started bombing Belgrade. It was the United States that let the genie out of the bottle. Moreover, when Russia protested and expressed its resentment, what was said? The UN Charter and international law have become obsolete.
Yes.
Now everyone invokes international law, but at that time they started saying that everything was outdated. Everything had to be changed. Indeed, some things need to be changed, as the balance of power has changed. It's true.
This interview was glorious, man. I cannot wait to see reactions because I only had time to prepare this show. You know what I mean? I've seen a few reactions, but man, dude, the West, this interview is going to tank so many mainstream narratives. We see exactly why the establishment was afraid of this interview happening.